You're listening to My Grito Podcast Network, celebrating the culture of Chicanos and Latinos one story and voice at a time. Listen to more My Grito Podcast Network shows over at mygrito.net. Connect on social, on Instagram and Facebook at My Grito, the My Grito Podcast Network.
3, 2, 1. Chaco. What's up, dude?
I'm here. I made it.
You are on time, by the way. Not that all our other guests have been late, but we're starting right on the dot that we scheduled this for, and I appreciate that. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. I am a professional.
All right. So, is it Chaco? How did you get that name, by the way?
Chaco is a family nickname.
Okay, cool.
That I had since I was a kid. And then in high school, you know how like somebody hears your mom call you a nickname and then everyone starts calling you that as a joke. So they just heard my mom say Chaco or Chaquito, you know, like picking me up from school one day. And they're like, oh, Chaquita, Chaquita. And then everybody just started calling me that. Chaquito, Chaco, Chaco. Like trying to make fun of me. But I liked it because that's just cool. What they call me at home. Yeah. And then the same thing happened in college because my name is Isaac.
Okay.
And so when I went to college, I was like, well, let me start over. I'm going to be Isaac. And somebody heard my mom call me Chaco. And they were like, oh, they call him Chaco.
So that's where. So is it a shortened version of Chamaco?
I don't know. I think this is what I say, at least. So maybe we can fact check it. No.
I'll put it on Google.
Call his mom. Call the mom.
Yeah, let's call your mom.
But I think in some regions of Mexico, that's the nickname for Isaac.
Oh, okay. That makes
Chaco.
sense, Chaco.
Yeah, because different people have told me, oh, that's my uncle's nickname, and their name is Isaac as well.
Oh, okay.
But there's another one. I don't remember right now.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Oh, yeah, Checo, the driver.
Oh.
That's for, F1. Formula One racing.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Because okay.
You like racing?
Cool.
Yeah.
You're an artist and you're a racing fan. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And there's one Mexican driver.
Oh, really? Like
Checo Perez.
in the
Formula One.
And it's like a league, or how's it?
Yeah, Formula One is basically like the top of racing.
Okay.
They have the top speeds. And there's all these rules, blah, 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 like any sport.
Yeah.
But basically it's 10 teams, 2 drivers, so 20 drivers. And every season, well, actually, sometimes they trade in and out people because there's like F2, F3, F4, and then F1. That's the top one.
Is that him?
Yeah. And so his name's Sergio, but his nickname is Checo.
Ah. So are like all Sergios like Checos?
No, I don't know because I know a bunch of Sergios and I never heard Checo.
Oh, okay.
But all the Sergios I know are like from here.
Yeah, maybe the ones from Mexico are Checos.
And different regions. It's always regions as well.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a thing because my dad is not Checo, but he's Chach. And in his region where they're from, so the oldest, you call them Chacho or Chacha if they're a female. So when he came to the United States, they were Chacho, 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 and then it was Chach. So now he's Chach.
But I'm not allowed to call him that.
No.
No.
Only family, right? I sometimes, like, when we're like hanging out and at her family's parties, I say, okay, all right, bye, Chach, and then like it hits me. I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to call him that. And I'm like, oh, I like revert back and be like, okay, Humberto, and then I give him a hug. Sorry, sorry, dude.
It's not until you get married then you can be like, all right. It's like Mr. No, I never told him not to.
So call him Mr. Chach.
No.
Mr. Chach. I think we've cracked the code, ladies and
cracked the
gentlemen.
code.
But we're not here to talk about that.
We're not here to talk
we're
about
here
my
to talk
dad.
about Chaco. So what's your latest projects right now? Amber was saying that you had. So you hand make, like, tell me about the process, but first of all, introduce yourself and
Tell us what you do.
tell us what you do.
I like to think of myself as an entrepreneur, kind of, and then I branch out into a couple different things. And one of those is being an artist, and I try to just find different ways outside of just painting to make some income, basically. And so this piece right here specifically, I did a painting, and it was like in 2018. And I was talking to another friend of mine, and we were just talking about how in the scene, a lot of people are painting cartoons. And I was like, okay, like, I like to do that too. But instead of just like repainting the cartoons, let me make up this like Mexican cartoon that can show up in any of these worlds, like The Simpsons, King of the Hill, Futurama. And so that was like my goal, was to create that type of image, and I really liked it. So I was like, what else can I do with it? Like as an entrepreneur, artist. And so
I'm gonna push this right there. There we go.
So I decided to make this bag. Okay, I'll get a little closer. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And so that specifically, and I'm also like, I think of myself as a spiritualist. And so I've studied
what's that?
I think it's, for me, somebody who thinks of myself and reality through the lens of vibration. And also, I grew up in a like very Christian household.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot about that. And then I went to a Christian school as well. And then I was like, I don't know. Do I get into it, or do I get into it?
Yeah, go for it. We want to hear who you are, what you're.
If you feel like,
am I saying this? But either way, yeah, I was there. Well, actually, here's your story. No, I'm just kidding. When I was in Christian college, it
was a college. Oh wow.
Yeah, I did mushrooms at Azusa Pacific. So here, APU. There's billboards everywhere. I did an eighth of mushrooms.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that was like my first time, and I felt like I was dying, and everything started melting, and I was like, no, I'm gonna die. And then I did die, and then on the other side, it was just like vibration, There was like space, but it wasn't necessarily just black. But it was kind of like dark. And then I saw myself as just this orb of light. And the people I was with, they turned into orbs. And then I just started seeing all these orbs and the energy flowing in and out. And I was like, oh my God, there's no hell. I'm free, And so I left that world, but because I was raised to be like so spiritual, because my parents are pastors.
Right. Whoa.
Dun, dun.
The plot thickens.
I still definitely like searched for different types of spirituality, and so I've studied different religions and philosophies, and so I also have studied under a healer who taught me some specific stuff, like around chakras and sound healing, actually sound meditation. That I put that all together, and that's why I say spiritualist.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I can draw the parallels because I also grew up in a Christian oriented family, and majority of my family is still pretty much Christian. And my grandfather, he was a pastor. My grandmother, she was a pastor. My uncles, my aunts, so it goes down the line.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you were going to be a pastor too? At one point?
Yeah, I definitely was trained to be a pastor.
Right.
And
Yeah, especially you going to college. Did you start going to like a religious school during like elementary and middle school? Was it like your whole?
No, I went to public schools the whole time. And then like in El Monte, Baldwin Park, Covina.
Oh, okay.
So SGV. And then I went to Cal State LA actually for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But like all my friends I had there had dropped out. And so not all, but a majority.
Right.
That, because I have a friend that I'm still homies with, Lobet, Cal State LA for life. And I was just getting discouraged. And my parents were like, what about APU? You should go to APU.
So Azusa Pacific, that's a Christian school?
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing? Like all of it?
Yeah.
Is it? I didn't know that.
You have to like sign the code of conduct. Because I was in student government and I almost got kicked out because I can't remember why, but they went into our dorm and we had so many empty bottles. And you cannot drink. And if you're a student leadership, they make you sign saying
you're a leadership
will not
too.
Drink.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They had you sign the second part of the code of ethics. It's like there's this code of ethics for regular students. Now we got a super more strict.
Oh yeah, it was even more strict if you wanted to be in student leadership.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I just went there for 2 years, but it was fun. And it was, I got to have my mushroom experience and then also learning about kind of like the history of the Bible, like the book itself was very enlightening and like, these are just stories that have been retold, like how many times now by how many groups, the Great Flood, like creation, even like this Messiah figure,
the Messiah figure being born from the sky, being born on
die,
the winter solstice.
Yeah.
The 3 day, the resurrection.
So many, literally.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but.
No, we're
this is great. No, this is great.
We're talking about the parallels between the story of Jesus and
like all the times that it's been like
been reused over millennia, over the dawn of time. Like there's Krishna. I believe Krishna is also in that. Can we look up like what would we even call it? Like the Jesus story retold over history, like how many times? But
maybe like Messiah story.
Okay, yeah.
Or Messiah
mine was
figure.
too long for that. Messiah.
Jesus, that's a specific figure, but the role was the Messiah for the religion, and so that's how. At least that's how I would think about it.
Okay. Yeah, don't listen to me. This guy went to college.
I'm like
for religion. Don't listen to me.
I get all my sources from you, religious sources from you. I didn't grow up in a religious household. I didn't do First Communion. I didn't do any of that. So I'm still learning a lot of these things through Gil. So I don't know if that's my best
there
source.
We go. Yeah. People also ask, what are the Messiah figures in different religions?
Oh, yeah,
that one right there.
That's a good one.
Okay. All right. Religions with a Messiah concept include Judaism, which is, can you help me out with that one? Do you know what that says? Mashiach, Christianity, Christ, Islam, Isa, Messiah. The Druze faith is Jesus and Hamza in Ali. Zoroastrianism is Saoshyant. Buddhism, Maitreya. Taoism, Li Hong. And Babism, he whom God shall make manifest. So all those, Amber, all those like figures, their names, they have a similar Messiah story. That's like their Christ. Messiah with the similar like life events and stuff, right?
Yeah, like at some point they're enlightened and they go on their quest, and then they come back with some disciples, and
So it's all the same, just told differently in a different language.
or even if it's like not that specific, it's like the general themes of the stories. Yeah, I mean, like the flood. That's what that I've seen over and over again, and it's like it has happened in the sense, like in the ice ages.
Yeah,
There was a great flood. And so even like civilizations back then would have talked about it, or groups. I don't think maybe there was civilizations. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there were civilizations before the flood. And then after the flood, they swam. But yeah, dude. It's like a documentary type of movie, but it's called Kymatica. It's on YouTube. And it like the first like half hour of that movie, it breaks down like Christianity like in America, and it talks about how just the similarities of the story versus told throughout ancient civilizations and stuff. It's really cool. You should check it out. Kymatica. It opened like I'd never heard any of that before that documentary, and it just like
okay,
opened my eyes to
Kymatica. How do you spell that?
Kymatica. Look it up. It's really cool. Maybe
I don't know how to spell it either.
K.
I'm like, oh, what do you mean look at it?
Wait, go to YouTube. Hold on, go to YouTube. I'm having fun right now. I'm having a great time.
How do I spell it?
Kymatica. Kymatica. Kymatica.
Okay. That's how you spell it. Wow. That was difficult for me.
Well, I don't know what that is, but
I'm like, I don't think I should scroll up.
Okay, yeah.
Your heads.
Just put Kymatica. Let's see.
I'm like, I won't. Your head's covering that image.
Good. We're gonna get flagged now.
I know. That's what I'm like.
Just do Kymatica trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, documentary trailer. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Where is it? They probably took it down.
Maybe.
Scroll.
Dang, propaganda.
Yeah, bro.
Kymatica.
They're like, we don't want you to know the
What?
truth.
Yeah, I think they took it off. Unless I'm 100% spelling it correctly. That's how it's spelled.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, look for it while we talk.
It's the Nelson Mandela effect.
Yeah, you hear about
maybe
that?
Maybe it didn't exist.
Maybe it didn't exist only in my own memory.
Only
but
you.
There's thousands of people other that have the same memory as that.
Yeah.
That blew my mind, dude.
Yeah. So I do think that happens often because, like when I had that Shroom experience, and also that along with like meditation and years of kind of like studying and reading different types of spiritual beliefs, like I'm really into like the dimension stuff and different dimensions. And I feel like that's a kind of like an easy consequence. If you believe in like multiple dimensions and that maybe like our consciousness can move between, points, not like crazy shifts, but little points. And suddenly you're here, you're in this world where it's very similar. There's just been that minor shift and that was it. Now you're in the next dimension.
Yeah, just like the tiniest small memory changes.
And that's already a different dimension,
What do you think about dreams? What's your thought on dreams, dude?
Oh my gosh.
That happen every night.
I have
to everybody.
Oh, to everybody. I hadn't talked to people about it.
No, I'm just saying, like, what are your thoughts on dreams? So, I mean, in the parallel between dimensions.
Oh, you know what? That's interesting. I never thought about it. I have like two ideas about dreams. One is that it's just sporadic, neurons flashing in your brain while you're asleep and you're creating an image out of it.
Okay.
And then experience.
The scientific,
I guess,
pretty
yeah.
much.
I'm like, yeah, I get that. But then my experience of dreams is like wild. And I have very similar dreams, like where I always end up on the top of buildings. There's always a height element or like a mob element. And so I feel like that means something, like, oh, I'm scared or something like that.
Have you ever looked it up?
I do have, yeah.
You have a dream journal or dream book?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it at the library sale.
There we go.
Pasadena Library. Shout out.
Shout out to Pasadena Library.
Hashtag
Yo.
Dreams.
I was there working, getting that Wi-Fi. I was like, book sale, $1 for this dream book? Mine.
You're like, it tells the truth and only the truth.
So that book, it like broke down like interpretations of dreams or like
yeah, it's actually
what dreams are about.
Book that's like Freud's dictionary, like Freud's book dictionary or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, that seems interesting because I studied psychology when I was at school.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's cool. So it kind of makes sense. It draws some type of like similarity with it, you think? With like what you studied towards what the book actually says.
The Mind Buzz is powered by Mind Buzz Media. Mind Buzz Media is an on-site video and audio podcast production company. Have you ever thought about starting your own video and audio podcast? Or do you have an existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Mind Buzz Media brings a professional podcast studio to you. Visit mindbuzz.org for more.
Well, Freud is like the kind of like the creator of psychology to an extent. And so you definitely learn to like idealize him,
Yeah. There's two forms of psychology. There's Freudism and I think it starts with an L. Can we look it up? I think there's either 2 or 3 thoughts of
because some of my professors would be like, okay, I'm not going to teach Freud. I don't believe in Freud. And then there's professors that do. Yeah, I think it's very controversial too. But
were those people developing a school of thought before he was?
I think it's side by side. I think it was, right? I think they're around the same time.
I don't know. What I put?
Because I mean, I don't agree with the guy, on everything or most things, or I couldn't categorize it, but it was kind of like we started to, and I'm sure other maybe like women or like people of color were doing it, but that's who they teach. But also that was maybe 2006.
Keep looking because there's Freudism and it's something else.
Yeah.
He had a student named Carl Jung, and then Jung created, like I'm gonna make up a word, so I don't want to. But like Jung's version, and then there's another guy. Well, so the other thing I do is I also do consulting around diversity, equity, and inclusion work.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
tell us what else you do. We jumped off track. Let's get back on track.
Well, basically, after leaving APU, I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I found a job at a church. But it was, at the time, a cool church. And I liked it. And they worked with this company called Visions. And so I did like a training with them. And then I eventually became like the liaison between the church and this group. And I was like designing trainings with them and stuff. And
like inclusion trainings? Okay.
And in 2018, I like reached out to them because I became like one of the founders became my mentor. And so I reached out to her and was like, hey, I want to leave this job. I don't want to work for the church anymore. Like, could I work with you guys? And it's cool because in that she said yes. And then I kind of did this like deep dive of where their ideas came from.
Whoa.
And my mentor, she's a part of the group of people who created this kind of like, I think of it as a school of thought. And her teacher is this guy named Eric Byrne, who created a school of thought named transactional analysis. And he's a student of Carl Jung, you know, who created Jungianism. Nah, just kidding. He was a student of Freud, you know, who, again, just in this case, even though I'm sure we could find, like we're saying, other types.
So I think it's this one, the
Let's go.
Adlerian theory versus Freudian. So I don't
There
know.
we go. Alder was, I think that it rings about. Alder was of the idea that the human personality was a social construction with birth order having a significant part in determining development. This was in contrast to Sigmund Freud, who thought the human instinct and many problems individuals experience were traceable to their sexually based conflicts. So, in this, so what this is telling me that it's the difference between nature versus nurture, right? So one had the theory of nature is the driving force to human characteristics versus nurture or nature, right?
Yeah, kind of. I would say for me, it's if they're next to each other, then it's just like the first people within this civilization, you know, to say like, should we think about our personality and where it comes from? And they were kind of like the beginning of that then. And if there was anybody else, because we weren't necessarily doing that, like trying to understand, why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? Why am I behaving this way? Is it problematic? Is it not? Outside of the context of religion. You know, religion was definitely kind of...
Yeah, that had a big scoop into how and what people thought back then, right?
Yeah, because like with Freud, it's like that. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, I get it to an extent, but he's like equating his own experience probably of like some sort of...
Some sexual based conflicts that he had with himself.
Exactly. And then
right? And then just building a whole school of thought about it. I'm going to build a school because...
Yeah, because didn't he say like all boys are like in love with their
mothers
and
Yeah.
you know don't breastfeed because it's like like,
that's where they got penis envy from. Penis envy, I think, because let's look it up because I'm going to butcher this, but I think it's the thought that
like competition with the dad, right?
Yeah, that the mom or the little boy is scared that his mom's gonna cut off his penis or something like that. Right? Am I getting that wrong?
There's like, I think, I can't remember what the damn word is. But there's the belief of the one, like you said, where the son is in love with the mom. And so he wants to kill his dad and, you know, be with his mother. And then the one where the daughter is in love with the dad,
father.
I think.
Yeah.
And so she's jealous of the bond that the father and the son have. And so she wants to have a penis.
Yeah.
So that's
here
penis
it is.
envy, I think.
See, penis envy
is a stage theorized by Sigmund Freud regarding female psychosexual development in which young girls experience anxiety upon realization that they do not have a P.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well,
Freud
I'm like, we were all wrong.
Freud considered this realization a defining moment in a series of transitions towards mature female sexuality. But how? Like
it's just like such a patriarchal lens, you know? But yeah, if I try on thinking very patriarchally,
right.
Like it makes sense. Like you're like, oh yeah, of course. Women,
I want to be a man.
Yeah. And they
they're
would
powerful and,
have some sort of penis envy or, sorry, I don't know if we're not supposed to use the word, but
I think it's fine.
I said it like 50 times in the past 10 minutes.
Like penis.
You're okay. No, you're
Penis.
okay. We can curse on. It's fine.
okay, that's right. I forgot to ask about that.
It's all good. But yeah, what do you do like in your line of work? That's so. What is that exactly? What does that entail?
My kind of like sales pitch is I do trainings and assessments and coaching. The assessment is like on the climate of your organization or whatever, the group is. And we have like this whole way of doing it. So assessments and then trainings, and that's giving people like skills and frameworks for thinking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the importance of talking about power differentials, oppression, giving like people actually like definitions that we agree upon. And then there's all these different types of psychological frameworks. And what's cool is they're kind of my mentor, as she was doing her schooling, like her training, she's a Black woman from North Carolina, and she was like, man, it's like, I get it, the psychology is good, the intention's there, but they're really missing the kind of acknowledgement of the importance of talking about race and how people of different races have different experiences. And so how do we have that type of lens when we're thinking about the processes of change that these psychological theories, are talking about? And so that's what I think is cool, is like it's rooted in her studies. She's a doctor. It's her, another woman, another Black woman, a white Jewish man, who are like all professionals. Like he's also a doctor. She's I think a judge or in the government, something like that. Super smart people, brilliant people that created this program. And I got to study it for like maybe 2 years, but intensely, because I like quit my job and I was like, I just want to do this. And they're like, well, we want to do a training program. So it's cool. I was a part of the first wave. Like I wrote a proposal to for them to start a fellowship to do a podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. Like I started a podcast for them, and now they have somebody else running it, and they actually deleted like all the episodes I did, which I'm like, whatever. Oh, no. Yeah, it was cool. I got to do all that, and then now I work with like a number of different groups, and I do have like like an NDA. So
what is that?
I always feel like
what's an NDA?
Non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, okay.
Can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah, like with my clients, with the whole thing, so it's actually IP. So like their programs, like they created it, it's registered as their IP. And for me, it's exciting to be a part of that lineage. And I wish I could talk about it all the time, because it is wild. It is wild. And it's so funny too. Like I see sketches all the time, like, all right, welcome to our diversity, equity, and inclusion training, just like so many jokes about it. And to an extent, I get it, like, but it's because we can't talk about it. Like, it's not like I can be like, that's not what it's like, or that is what it's like, or this or that. Like,
you can't defend it or deny it or anything, because you can't say anything.
you can't, yeah.
So it's like basically that. Are you familiar with The Office with Steve Carell?
I am, yeah.
They have a whole episode dedicated to inclusion, and it's just it's bonkers. Have you seen this, Amber?
I haven't.
No, it's
but I can imagine.
Yeah, is that how it is? See, that's what I think
We're
about.
like blink twice.
Yeah.
Yes or
No, don't answer that. But
no, honestly, I can say that I went to like my bachelor's. That's as far as I went with school. And then I feel like this is like an institute. And then I was working with a healer as well. So I didn't want to go any more in that official route, but a lot of the people I work with, like, they're psychologists and stuff. And so I would say the work I do is like a combination of educating and like group therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like smooth and sometimes it's, intense.
Do you service? I mean, can you say this one? Like, do you service like? Because what I'm thinking is like, I know that like these groups or these programs are made for like larger institutions, right? To teach them, or not all of them, but I know some that are made for like businesses or large corporations that, need to learn about inclusion and things like that. And is that what it's like kind of geared towards, or is just overall, like just in general?
I work with a bunch of different people. Whenever, I guess, like I have my rate, that I usually go at. And then if it's like a nonprofit or a friend or something, then sometimes I'm like, like I'll lower my rate because if the group I work with, like if they give me contracts, then I can't negotiate anything. It's whatever they got. But a lot of times if it's like friends or people I know or recommendations and they say, like we're a nonprofit or we're, an organization of 5 or something like that, then and like we can't afford, the kind of usual budget, then I'll kind of gauge like, okay, how much can I, do this for? And so that's how I try to, and we all do that, like all the consultants with the contracts that we bring in that are not like those big corporations or like a big government group. Yeah. With those two sometimes, or I don't know. This is where I'm like, what can I say? I don't know.
No. Do you think that with like, because we're starting to see, like, I feel like our generation is really changing, right? And we're
evolving.
Yeah, we're evolving, right, into inclusion and really getting everybody seen and like, not just lumping people as people and, and everything. Do you see like, is there a lot of pushback? Do you feel that like with people not wanting to evolve or change or like things like that? Like, do you see that a lot or no?
I'll say that it's like, for the most part, people do, and that there's a lot of people that are in the middle. And I say the middle is like, I understand my values and I'm open to thinking differently. And then there's people on the, ends, and they're more like, I have my ideas already, and that's that. And so I would say like those ends are hard, and it's sort of like on either end for different reasons. And then the people in the middle, it's like nice. And sometimes you have mostly people in the middle and just maybe like 1 or 2 on the end. Sometimes you have everybo's in the middle and you're like, yeah.
Thumbs up all around.
Yeah. I'm like, let's go. We're learning. We're engaging. And then the people on the end, sometimes you have a group that's half and half. If you have a half and half, ooh. Get the shit.
It's a good day, right?
No, that's a bad day.
That's a bad day.
That's a bad day.
I can only imagine, because you're not only just working with their ideas, but it's some people put their ideas as a part of their identity. And once you start messing with somebody's identity and the way they think, that's where it gets difficult, right?
Yeah, and some people already have their own ideas when it comes to this subject.
Right.
Either like this is bad. You want white people to feel guilty, or like, I already know about this. I don't need to be a part of this training.
Right.
So both of them feel like they don't need to be a part of this training, basically, for whatever reason, you know. And so that's the hard part, is they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so it's if it's just one or two, like I said, it's like, okay, if it's half and half, that's when, like I was saying, I was like, oh my gosh, like these people don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And that sometimes I'm just like, all right, y'all, like, let's end it. You know, like, how much time do we have left? We still have like 2 hours.
Yeah.
How would you guys like 2 hours of your life back? I get that's when I finally get some engagement. Yeah. Suddenly, let's do some appreciations, and we're closing out.
That's funny. That's really cool, though. It's cool, you know, to know that we are evolving, and there's people like you that, you know, are educating us. And I say us with myself, because I can say a million times, yeah, I'm respectful of this, I know that. But then it's like something crosses my path, and then I'm like, oh my God, like I need to be respectful. How do I do that? How do I come across, you know, we just had a situation recently at my family's coffee shop. And I was like at a standstill, you know, with this person. Like I wanted to be as respectful as possible with them and what they were concerned about. And I honestly did not know how to respond or fix it in that moment, you know. And I think what I did was I apologized, and I asked them if, you know, what could I change and how could I change it, and if they could you know, kind of educate me on what could I do, because I didn't want to sound like I knew what I was doing, or go out, that's fine, and disregard them, right? So I think that's like one of my go-to is like, okay, what can I do for you? What would you like us to do? And within means, right? Within our physical means. So that's how I handled that one. But still, every day I think it's like there's something different and something for all of us to learn. That's cool.
Yeah, and most of the time I'm getting contacted by HR, you know, because they're like, we don't know what to do. And I think that's normal. Like in our culture, in our society, we weren't taught how to like have a good process.
Yeah, how to respond to certain situations.
Yeah, where it's kind of like a very individualistic, so it's more competitive than cooperative. And so we've been taught more of like those competitive ways of being with each other than cooperative. And so oftentimes, yeah, it's like I empathize with people and myself, you know. I don't try to like, I don't think of good or bad. I just think about like what we know, what we don't know, what behaviors can we change, you know, what frameworks can change. And then how do we address our feelings, which is like a big part of it. And that's something that I've been seeing everywhere too. So it's kind of nice. Like as an entrepreneur, like how I started, I guess. I really like Gary Vee, and he's all about like emotional intelligence, like, and so it's kind of nice because like when I'm working with some of these groups, you know, I can be like, oh, like Gary Vee, you know.
That's cool.
I'm missing something. Who's that?
You don't know who he is?
No.
He's like a
Is he a motivational
speaker, right? Type of thing?
Gary V?
No, Gary.
Gary V.
Well,
B. Gary B.
Gary. VEE.
Oh,
Yeah,
VE.
But his full name is Gary Vaynerchuk, and he has like a marketing company.
Yeah, he's like an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur, and
This
he
guy.
also does public speaking, but he got kind of famous like being super brash on the internet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then
I
now
follow him too.
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it. He was one of those love him or hate him for sure type
Oh,
of,
yeah?
He
type of
like
character.
tells you what you need to hear.
Oh, that's cool. I need one of those.
Well, there he is. He's on
Every
Instagram.
morning, I need somebody to tell me how it is.
I
in
think
the
he does, right? He puts like a video out every day or something. So there you go.
Okay. I'll follow him.
Yeah, every day he'll remind you how you could be doing more. How you could be posting more TikToks. TikToks.
Because that's what we need. We need me on TikTok more
right.
than I'm supposed to be on.
Actually, right now, he'll be like, TikTok is dead. Organic reach is gone. What you need to do is LinkedIn. Are you a B2B? If you're a B2B, you need to get on LinkedIn right now. How many posts are you doing a day? Is it 2? Is it 3? You need to be doing 5. 5 posts a day on LinkedIn. For the B2Bs, any B2Bs in the room?
It's true. That's what it sounds. I'm like, do we need a Gary V intervention here?
No, it's funny because like I think he says this. He's like, I want my fans to listen to me long enough where they can't listen to me anymore. And that's me. I can't listen to him anymore per se, and I don't need to because he does. He repeats the same stuff. It's good stuff. It's just like consistency, organic reach, just kind of regular entrepreneur tips.
Really? Okay. Awesome. I gotta look him up.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so
Watch in the next couple of episodes, I'm gonna be talking about him. I'm gonna be talking about him or talking like him.
Or I'm gonna hear while we're going to sleep. All videos.
Hey, it beats those like 20-minute wrestling videos before I watch before I go to sleep.
And he watches wrestling videos right before going to bed, and on like the loudest setting possible. Like I am falling asleep, and he has no consideration of putting the volume down. He just wants it like the loudest. And it's like those old like 90s, 2000 Undertaker, and
yes,
you know.
the classics, the good ones.
The classics, dude. That's what you gotta. That's what you gotta watch. But no, definitely, I'm gonna check this dude out.
I was gonna say like my recent person that I enjoy watching to motivate me / kind of just give me the talk is on YouTube, and it's this channel called Financial Audit.
I'm like, what the?
And it's so funny. It's like, I don't know how old this guy is, maybe like 26 or something, but he has people come on and you have to give him like your bank statements from like the past like month, I think, and he just like goes through it and just roasts you. Yes.
Caleb Hammer?
Caleb Hammer, yeah.
Oh, this is my kind of show.
It's so funny, but it makes me think, you know, I'm like, all right, if I were to be on this show, what kind of rating would I get? Like, I'm trying to get a good rating. I think of him when I'm
Immature
doing my
clown. Oh my god! I want to see his bank statements. Does he ever talk about his own?
He does, yeah, like once a year, because I think he's been doing it for a couple years. He's like, all right, I make you guys do it, and he does like an episode on himself.
That's cool. That's funny.
That's my I've moved on past Gary V, and now I'm a hammerhead.
I love how all YouTubers or like famous people have like their like what their fans name, right? They do like a little like a name for them. That's funny.
That's actually a part of like a pod. Like I watch like certain like how to grow your podcast and videos as such, and that's like one of the like little tips in there to call your fans like a certain name that has a tie to your podcast. So I wonder what we would call the Mind Buzz listeners.
The Mind Buzzers? I don't know.
So lame. The buzzers, the Mind Buzzers.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. There was this old show, like on KCRW or something like that, that would start off like, "It's a groovy night, and get your doobie if you got it, and your shoomies if you want it, and you know we're about to lift off tonight. It's gonna be one of those nights where we're getting groovy and juvie. You know what I mean?" Like a long, probably another minute at least of that.
And you're all scrambling for a joint. You're like, I need one.
No, this is like me and like at my Christian house, like all low, like, oh, this sounds very interesting. What is this man saying?
You're like, Ma.
I was like with my headphones on, like, hopefully I don't get caught.
He used that same like radio copy for the other podcast that he did. Maybe that's why they deleted all your podcasts. You're like, grab your doobies. We're about to learn some new psychology. Grab the bag of shrooms if you got them, ladies and gentlemen.
That's funny.
So besides your inclusion work that you do, you make badass art. Like, so what is your, do you have your, yeah, you can show the camera right here.
Oh,
this one, yeah. Show the camera. Look at how cool
so
that
cool.
is. So does this dude or dudette, do they have a name?
yes, this is the OG Sad Nopal 69.
Sad nopal.
Yeah,
Sad Nopal.
and I have it back here.
Damn, I really need one of those.
Sad
Very
Nopal.
cool.
Well, it doesn't say OG, I guess. So this Sad Nopal 69. That's the name of the original painting, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think I seen
That's a,
something on-
On the Instagram, it'll be on there.
so that, can I
Yeah.
touch it?
He's like, no.
So
Yes, no, everybody asks me when I'm out. They're like, can I touch it?
it's cool. Like you want to like,
Mm-hmm,
Pat
exactly.
you just want to give him a hug because he looks sad. Look at how cool that is.
That's freaking awesome. That's so cool that you made your art into something tangible, something that can be carried. That's awesome.
So the name of your brand, what's the name of your brand? That's your brand, right?
Yeah. How would you pronounce it?
Híjole.
Chacolt?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a Chaco.
Chacolt? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, because the X is like,
Like a che.
yeah,
or
Cha.
CH, basically.
Satchel. Yeah, okay.
So, Chacolt.
Chacolt. Okay.
Yeah. And
I was almost there.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted it to be one of those names that's like weird, you know? Like I
Okay.
remember when I first saw Balenciaga, like it took me a while to be able to say it. Or like Vetmont.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe somebody says that different.
Chacolt.
But I wanted a name that was a little difficult to read. And also I'm Mexican, and so I feel like I wanted to bring some of the, I've been learning Nahua, which is like
Oh.
the Aztec language.
Mhm.
And they use the X a lot. And so I wanted to bring that into, like this project.
Okay.
And it's already about roots. I started off with nopal, which is on the Mexico flag, a part of the story of, is it either Tenochtitlan? No, oh yeah. The Mexico City, and how they
Mhm.
found that. And there's the saying, tiene nopal al frente, which means like you have a cactus on your forehead. Whenever people are trying to assimilate too much, that's something that people would say in the culture, like, you're trying to act, you ain't got a cactus on your forehead. Like, you can't be white, basically.
Right.
And that's how it kind of ties in, like the ideas, into like my inclusion work and equity and my art. Like I'm always trying to bring those different lenses into the work that I'm doing artistically. And then also when it comes to products as an entrepreneur, I was like, what can I do? I need to do, I'm like, I need to figure out, honestly, okay, as an entrepreneur, right? I said, how can I make more money in an hour? Like I can only make so much in an hour where I'm working. So how do I make it so that I make more in 1 hour? And it's not because I'm literally working. And that's where I was like, why don't I start making some products with my art? Because at some point, if you're moving product, you're making money an hour, and it's not necessarily on how much work you did.
Right.
If you get to a certain scale. Like right now, that's not the case. And these bags, I will say, like, I worked with the bag maker. I started making one and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not liking it. And then my partner introduced me to like somebody on Twitter, I think, who was like, hey, look at her bags. And I think they were friends. And so I reached out to her. I was like, hey, my partner told me about your bags. Like, I'm working on this project. I think it could look similar to this bag. And she was down. So I definitely like owe her, or not owe her because I paid her. But
I paid her already.
I forgot to pay her. That's why I owe her.
but like sentimentally.
Yeah, of course.
That is so cool because you think, and you had the great idea because your art is your art, but like Amber said just a few minutes ago, that you made it tangible and and it's a useful, like you can get use out of a bag. Of course, like there's art that you can appreciate on your wall, but it's just on a wall. Like it's just staying there. There's no, I mean, of course there's purpose for your eyes. And when you walk into your home, you create that value of an art piece on your wall, but this is like art for like use.
Yeah. And I'm just so grateful that it worked out. And I kind of was thinking like, okay, I want to do a brand or some kind of product. And so I started just doing my research in like around 2018, around when I finished the painting, not even thinking about it, actually just doing the painting.
Do you have the painting up on your website? I want to see the original painting.
I don't actually, but I have it on Instagram, I think.
If you have it on Instagram?
Yeah. You scroll down because I think it's like 2018.
Do you do photography too?
Mm-hmm.
They're really cool.
Yeah, and you see how I did the Nero Nopal? So I have an NFT project.
Oh, he's right there.
That I started. And that's from the original painting. I just cropped it out. It's not like
these
a
are
digital
really
version.
cool.
Where's the original painting at?
It's at my house.
Let's see.
Is it for sale?
It was for sale. I used to have, now I have my web store for the brand, but I used to have another web store with all my pieces. And
is this you?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, not that one. My fingers slipped.
Sorry about
this
that.
one. This is cool. I got all nervous. I'm like, no.
Yeah, so that one
cool.
I curated an NFT show that was all about like Latinos.
Oh, that's cool.
And learning about Web3.
Whoa.
That's cool.
It was the first conference ever that was like Web3 based that focused on Latinos.
So what's Web3?
Web3 is like full integration of life with the internet. And so Web 2, like Web 1 is like .com. Web 2 is social media. And then and basically it was like .com. You had to work really hard to create content or to get on the internet. And then social media said, oh, look, now it's really easy to make content and put it on the internet. And Web 3 is like, now how do I work from the internet? How do I like just pay my bills, go to concerts? You know, that's where like it's a metaverse. So this one I did after the original one, and I wanted to put it in certain settings. So that's like a King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, the
fence. I just like graffitied it. And then I have another one that's like on the Simpsons. There you go. You can see it better there.
Oh yeah.
I just did like progress shots, you know, to create some content. I also do music, so that's where that stuff is. And then there's that, but I think there's a bigger photo, maybe. So these are.
These are all of yours?
Yeah, so those are sculptures as well.
That's so cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Do you still have this?
Thank you. No, it melted.
What is that made out
It
of?
melted?
It's cardboard, and it was like a glue gun.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that's like it's supposed to be like a self-portrait.
How many hours did that
half the
take you to
body.
do that?
Dang,
Long
I don't
time?
remember. Yeah, it was a while. And I had to like spray paint a bunch of cardboard and then cut all the cardboard into the triangles. And then glue it all together. These are terrariums that I made. I'm about to start making some other ones.
Terrarium. It's a fun one to say.
We just had an art show on Friday. You should come put your art on our next one.
Look at that.
Yes, I'm down. Those are sculptures that I made, and I'm working with resin and found objects.
Wow, these are cool. This is awesome. Where does most of your inspiration come from?
Right now, I would say kind of like the community, and that's why I started getting into photography. Because I was like, I didn't want to like paint people just because I'm not that kind of painter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not very realistic.
Yeah, how would you describe your art to somebody? What's your elevator pitch to somebody about your art?
I would say it's like a mixture of abstract, mixed material, and or photography. And then with the photography,
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I just was like, okay.
That is really cool. It's like he's out in the, I don't know how to explain it. Like he's just out in the world. Like he hopped out of the painting and he's hanging out with that person on the sidewalk.
And I got like, it's kind of crazy, but I got hacked and targeted because I was an NFT artist. I was like literally.
What?
Actually, I was like a part of the NFT world, which is kind of funny because it's so different than the art world itself.
Mm-hmm.
But then the art world, didn't give a fuck about what I was doing. I was growing a little bit of a following in the NFT world, and then I just got like hacked and started getting hacked.
Whoa.
They like ruined my life for a while.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like very anxiety inducing. And but if you look up Sad Nopal on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
you can see they also took that profile, but they haven't done anything with it. Probably like
created
one
a
word. Or
whole-
there you go.
So they created a whole other Instagram with.
No,
work?
they locked me out of it. And
Oh, this was your. Oh, got it.
yeah.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
So and I just had to be like whatever. But that's like Mexico City.
Yeah, Mexico City.
And then I have like I have a whole chart on how like different rare. Basically, the idea is I was creating like my own version of trading cards. That's going to be these photos. Like that one's backwards, so it would be extra rare. And the amount that I make for the additions, like I would roll a dice and flip a coin. I had like a fun little process.
Wow.
So that different editions would have different types of rarity. And yeah, I hope to actually finish it because the goal was to make 420 unique images, and I got up to like 126. And like with the hack and all that, like they took me out the game.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. Really, really cool.
Yeah, the concept is pretty awesome. I've never came across anything like this. This is cool.
Yeah, and
I like it.
In all the NFT spaces, the art I felt like had zero cultural context. And I was like, it's kind of boring.
I can see that.
When art doesn't have a cultural context. And so my goal was to create art that had some like cultural relevance and significance. And I was already working on this photo project. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Release it through the NFTs. I think maybe it'll still, we'll see what happens. But
So what are you gonna do like now with are you able to use these images at all, or like how is that?
yeah, they're mine. If you click on the link, then you can see. This is the platform where you could buy
Oh, I see.
any of these. It's object.com, and the currency is Tezos. And I like Tezos. The idea is that it's a clean currency, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like what that means right now, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. It uses less power because there's two ways to compute on the blockchain. There's one that uses a lot of power, one that uses less. And so Tezos uses the other one. It's supposed to be like, the other one is like super secure. This one, it's not that it can get hacked or anything like that because the hack didn't happen through Tezos or Object. It was on my email. So if you have Yahoo, like shutting down your Yahoo account is almost impossible.
Really?
Yeah, and it's very vulnerable because you can't do double verification as opposed to like Google. And so that's how they get you because you can't shut down your account. Either way. Freaking the hackers, they're going. If you have a Yahoo account and you can't shut it down, shut it down. That's all I'll say about that.
Damn.
So that's
really cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is this food going is like the tagline, and the idea is that it's looking for its home, and that's why it's sad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the kind of idea of like Mexican American, like not from here, not from there, where's my home?
Yeah, never feeling comfortable in just one place because it's foreign to you.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. I love that.
And so he's traveling.
That's why
for his home.
he's in every picture. He's in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's a really interesting concept.
Yeah,
It's interesting concept, but it is relevant and it resonates with the culture.
Yeah, like I can see myself in all these places. You know, being the sad nopal. Like it's cool. You can relate, and it's crazy that it's like a character. But again, you give it like this humanistic form to it too, and it's like it could be you, it could be you, it could be anybody. And that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I have some that'll be like happy, so that's why I'm like it. And those will be like glitches. But so I have all these concepts that I still have like yet to finish through that project, and I'm like I am gonna finish at some point.
Are these shirts that you're making as well?
This is I'm co-curating a screening that's called Oscuro, and I am gonna use my website to sell pre-sale tickets and then the merch. And so this is, I guess it's live, but I guess besides this, nobody else would be on it. That was my assumption. And so
we're like, oops. We're like, don't go on here. We're just kidding.
Changing it right now for this event because I'm going to use my website as the way of doing that instead of like an Eventbrite or something.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So you're curating an art show and it's called Oscuro? Is that what it is?
It's a screening for short films.
Oh, for a short film. Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like it's gonna be like a lot of Latino stories, but not everyone's gonna be Latino, and then some queer stories, and just really like elevating some of these marginalized groups and giving them an opportunity to share their art. And it's really fun. Like some of them, are a little bit more dramatic, and then sometimes they're fun, and we're working on curating the night in terms of like having a gallery, some drinks, some kind of like theater experience, because the idea is giving the community an opportunity to have that experience with our films. And so, when we're going to be at this spot that has like a big wall where we'll be projecting, so it's like a big screen experience.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that because I think like for us too, kind of curating our first art show on Friday, and we've talked to other artists that we've had on the podcast where I feel like I really like art. I really appreciate art. But growing up, I mean, my parents weren't into art. We didn't collect art. That was things that rich people did, white people did.
Yeah, art was the last thing on, some parents' mind.
Yeah.
Let alone teaching their children or teaching their offspring the importance of art and the importance of artists, the people that, do that sorts of medium.
So it's pretty cool to see like you and us and, the newer our generation kind of bringing that into our culture and giving, us the opportunity to have the same things that, everybody had that we didn't have growing up.
Yeah,
So
creating the
cool.
space too, like that's also a big part in it. Making, there's people, there's artists out there, but I mean, without the space to showcase, their talents and their stories or their interpretations of their art, like that's, of course, I mean, there's websites, there's online, but like there's nothing like walking into a room with art everywhere and the artists there talking about their pieces. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, and that's going to be the kind of flow for it's going to be 2 nights. So April 8th is like the opening, and then May 13th is the closing. And so, last time we just did, or the original curator, Nene, he did 1 night. And, a lot of people always say, oh, I can't come. So we're like, let's do 2 nights if we can, a month apart, to give people the opportunity, to also me, the opportunity to not have to do like 2 nights or something like that. It's a lot of work, like we're saying, to create the space for people to show. And so I'm excited that it's going to be 2 nights, not in a row, but within a month apart, where we'll be screening the films.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And it feels nice, like you're saying, to walk into a space, there's like a bunch of people sitting. We try to set it up like, I mean, it's just rows, but like a theater. So you're all excited. Everyone's sitting, and
that's fun.
This time things are going to be a little bit different because I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be cool.
If you know, you know.
Because we're in the middle of like finalizing things.
Okay,
so that's
cool.
why I'm like, well, I don't want to say we're going to do this.
Don't give too much.
And we don't do that.
You've sold.
Want to be surprised.
Yeah.
Is it open to anybody? Like, could we purchase tickets and things like that?
Yeah. Hopefully, like, I'm going to switch out the image and put the flyer and stuff on here on the homepage. But if you scroll down, you'll see the options for the pre-sale tickets. And it's 10, 15, or 20. And so, whatever you can do in terms of a ticket, those will be the ones we're selling. And then if you don't buy one, you can buy it at the door. But
right here.
Yeah. Cool. I'm trying to... So technically, like on the back end, I mean, if it matters or not, but it's like a digital sale. So the idea that the person's buying a print, but I don't know why it doesn't come up.
Oh, like the image of it?
Yeah, the image. It says it has this gift. I'm like, but why?
We're like, but what is the gift?
Yeah.
It's a mystery. The mystery gift.
Like, I guess they'll get it if they buy it, but it doesn't need to be a secret.
I'm like, I like to be surprised, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Either way,
So the ticket includes a print? Is that what it is?
a digital print.
A digital print. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
Of like what's on the shirt. So
Okay, cool.
And that one,
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
I have a amazing friend named Love Yo Dreams, and I worked with him to create this image. Literally, that's the last thing I did on my phone before putting it on airplane mode, was like just give him the last edits for the flyer, because we're hoping to post it tomorrow and then hopefully go live, in 48 hours so that people can buy pre-sale tickets and
Oh,
stuff.
sweet.
Awesome. I want to go.
Yeah, send that through. Send us the link.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's such a cool
It sounds
crowd.
cool. I'm sold
And-
already. You got like it right there. 2 tickets sold.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
Pre-sale.
You heard that, Nene? Let's go.
See, you came and did your job on the podcast.
Gary V, watch out, because it's working. It's working. Chaco, Sad Nopal, thanks for coming out and doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. And you spilled something, but that's fine.
It's not the first time, nor will it be the last.
Yeah, you hear that, Californiography? You're not the only one. Go ahead and tell us what you got coming up.
All right. Well, you're welcome to Californiography. I just saved your butt. You are no longer the only one. And you can check out Chaco and see. I'm working on some ready to wear collabs. This shirt's one of them. With a friend of mine, Little Friendship, and then Love Your Dreams. And so I'm going to be dropping some kind of like merch. And then I have this show. I'm also going to be doing a bunch of other shows, but I don't have any details to give. But this summer is going to be hot. If you like art, community, check out my Instagram. And I always post up the shows that I put together. They're really fun. And I try to have inclusive spaces where you come and you hang out. Awesome. It's not just like the regular art show where you come and you know, like see some art and it feels awkward and you leave. It's a super cool community. Yeah, you really stay, and you're sad when it ends.
Cool. You're like sad nopal.
Yeah,
much.
You're like, why? Don't end.
When are you gonna put out more sad nopal bags?
So these I'm hoping by mid-April.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I need one for the studio.
For the 14.
We need to get one for the studio, Amber.
I need one to wear.
Okay, we need two. Look at 2 sold already, dude.
2 bags, 2 tickets. What else you got for us? Oh, the t-shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, this is a good one. This one is dropping mid-April too, actually. So it'll be this and hopefully the bags as well.
Can you show it again? Let me see. Yeah.
The Mind Buzz.
Sorry about the table.
No worries. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Peace out, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Mind Buzz podcast. Subscribe to the Mind Buzz YouTube channel and watch full podcast episodes. Keep up with the hosts, guests, and upcoming events by following the Mind Buzz on Instagram @the Mind Buzz. See you on the next one.